As we've been hearing, the Strait of Hormuz has become a danger zone for world shipping since the war began on February the 28th. But there are ships from some countries still getting through. Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister Majdi Ravanchi confirmed some countries have spoken directly with Iran. Their vessels have been granted passage. Monty Francis with this.
The images of burning oil tankers have struck fear in maritime crews from across the globe hoping to cross the Strait of Hormuz. With Iran's new supreme leader vowing to continue to throttle traffic in the strait, some ships have taken to declaring a link to Beijing, Iran's most important economic partner. In the past week, at least 30 vessels have abruptly claimed to have a Chinese owner or to be carrying a Chinese crew. Earlier in the week, a Panama flagship made it through the strait 2 days after changing its destination to China owner on its transponder. Beijing has not reacted to the maneuver, but has called for an end to the hostilities.
The Strait of Hormuz is a crucial international trade route. Maintaining security and stability in the region serves the common interests of the international community. China urges all parties involved to immediately cease military operations.
On Thursday, the oil tanker Shenlong, carrying Saudi crude, arrived at a port in Mumbai after crossing the Strait of Hormuz. It's the first vessel to reach India from the Middle East since the war began. On Thursday, Reuters reported that India had reached a deal with Tehran for its ships to pass through the strait. Iran denied such a deal existed, but India confirmed talks had taken place.
The External Affairs Minister and the Foreign Minister of Iran have had 3 conversations in the last few days. The last one discussed issues pertaining to safety of shipping.
But India has not been unscathed. The country's shipping ministry said that 3 Indian sailors had been killed and 4 others injured in maritime incidents involving foreign-flagged vessels since the Iran war began. India has given safe harbor to almost 200 Iranian sailors, allowing their ship to dock on India's southwestern coast shortly after the war broke out.
Monty Francis, with that, let's get more analysis. Giacome Luciani joins us, a professor at the Paris School of International Affairs. Giacomo, thanks for being with us. What is your take on this situation regarding some ships getting through the Strait of Hormuz, some countries doing deals or not? It seems to be a lot of smoke and mirrors at present.
Well, indeed, it's not clear what is happening exactly, and that means that it is difficult to draw any conclusions from the news. One needs to see whether it is just a few tankers that have been trapped in the Gulf that have been allowed to pass, or is this freedom of passage for all Indian tankers? Does it mean Indian flagged tankers? Does it mean tankers that have oil heading to India on board? All of these are important questions to which we don't have an answer yet.
Of course, the thing is, if Indian ships are getting through, if Chinese ships are getting through, it sends a clear message about which side of the war, of the argument that India and China are on.
Well, India and China are the major customers of oil from the Gulf. They account for roughly 50% of all the shipments of petroleum out of the Gulf. So clearly, they have a lot at stake and every interest to make sure that the Strait of Hormuz is reopened.
And of course, both China and India might argue that they had nothing to do with the starting of the war, and basically their economies are being, in a sense, undermined by the fact that this is going on. So they should have the right to access the oil that they need. Would that be their argument, do you think?
Well, their argument would be certainly in the case of China that they have supported the Iranian regime for a long time. They always claimed that they were not interested in regime change and have defended Iran against the pressure and the sanctions. They have not recognized the sanctions. So, I mean, Iran doesn't have many friends around, and China for sure is one. And India is a good customer. It has always been. So it's not seemingly in the best interest of Iran to pick up a quarrel with these two countries.
Indeed, and one wonders what those people under the bombs in Iran may be thinking when they hear about these kind of things going on. It's somewhere this expediency, as it seems, might seem very distasteful on so many levels.
Yes, there is a lot of uncertainty about the goals of Iran, just as much as the goals, the final objective of Donald Trump. Iran appeared to be aiming at creating havoc in international oil markets, so to push the price of oil, as they said, some said, up to $200 per barrel. If they want to do that, they have to hit China and India because they are the major customers. If they are not willing to pick up a fight with China and India, then it will be extremely difficult to cause a crisis for a long time. And the prices will come down if it is confirmed that China and India can receive oil freely.
Giacomo, can I ask you about the issue of planting explosives, mines, as we call them, at sea in the Strait of Hormuz? It's reported that Iran might be considering doing this kind of thing. It would be very unlikely, really, wouldn't it, given that these Indian ships, these Chinese ships would be passing business for Iran. It would be really foolish of Iran to put explosive in the waterway, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would be rather foolish. And in addition, it should be considered that the Strait of Hormuz is not exclusively Iranian. As a matter of fact, the corridors, the navigation corridors, lie entirely in Omani waters. So Iran would have to mine also the waters of Oman. And Oman has been a close, not an ally, but at least a mediator to allow Iran to negotiate. And so it's not likely that they would mine the waters of Oman.
Indeed, that said, Giacomo, of course, there's been the strike on the port in Oman, which has caused a great deal of consternation, shall we say. The president of Iran actually passing a phone call to the Sultan to apologise and say there'd been an inquiry held as to why that happened. But nonetheless, Iran has bombed Oman. So why not just mine the waterways as well?
Yes, well, there is a difference. At the moment, the president of Iran can claim that this was a mistake. It was done by someone who was not under control from the center. But it is more difficult to claim that if you are systematically mining the waters. So the danger of mining exists, but it seems unlikely also because Iran itself needs to have passage through Hormuz. So once they have launched mines, they may be affecting Iranian interests as well.
Giacomo, how would you describe India's role in all of this? Because we can talk about India's role in kind of fencing, that is to say, buying and then reselling under a different label Russia's oil, which has obviously helped, Russia's war effort in Ukraine. Now it seems doing the same thing to help Iran get through its necessary spending for its war effort too. How would you describe India's role? Some people might say it's really morally corrupt in some way.
Well, there is a major difference between Russia and Iran with respect to India. India was importing precious little Russian oil before the invasion of Ukraine. They stepped up their purchases very significantly and reduced purchases from the Gulf in order to profit from the lower price of Russian oil and export oil products everywhere in the world, including in Europe. towards Europe. Iran has always been a supplier of India. India never accepted the sanctions against Iran. So it is something that has not changed significantly over the years. So India cannot be really accused of profiting from the situation at the moment. Perhaps it has profited from the situation throughout by not adhering to the sanctions, but that's a problem of the countries that have created the sanctions.
Indeed, hear exactly what you're saying, Giacomo Luciani. Thank you so much indeed for giving us your analysis and sharing it with us here at France 24. Much appreciated. That's Giacomo Luciani, Professor at the Paris School of International Affairs.